So this year I am trying to keep mason bees. I tried last year as well. Unfortunately, none stuck around, and I have a feeling part of that is because I didn't have enough fresh water, and I wasn't keeping their clay source as wet as it should be. So this year I kind of rethought how I could approach it, and I looked around. I saw a lot of things online about, these kind of saucer bird baths that people were building and putting in their garden. But I thought, even that can dry up quick. So we're engineers, we can figure out something that works for us, right? So I came up with this kind of reservoir system here, which is basically just a giant pot. At the bottom of the pot, I have a little 3-inch saucer that I just siliconed over the hole to make sure that the water wouldn't run out. I think this pot is probably a 22-inch maybe, and then the saucer on top is about an 18-inch. And then inside, holding the saucer up, we have 3 16-inch pieces of PVC pipe. I designed and 3D printed braces that are on either end to kind of hold them in place. And the saucer is just actually free floating, and it's pretty steady. Up on top here, we have just clay pebbles so that, our little friends can land in here and get a drink of water and be okay. And then this little pump right there, which I'll go into more detail in a minute. And then here's our clay. I've basically taken some natural clay and mixed it 50-50 with my soil and made it into a little volcano. Put some water in there, hoping that it would kind of help continue to keep things as wet as possible. As for the pump I got because it was solar powered and I wanted something that would run for most of the day. I'm a little underwhelmed with the output. As you can see, the lift here is probably only about, maybe 6 inches, and yet still it's not even enough to really get much of a pattern from this kind of mushroom head that they send with the pump. So a little disappointed there, but the good news is, or the positives of this pump is the cord is pretty long here, so we can see we got it running up here and then to a solar panel here. And this solar panel is supposedly a 7-watt solar panel. And what's really nice about it is that it has this built-in 3000 milliamp hour battery. So even after there's not full sun, it still continues to run a little bit. Sometimes I come out in the morning and the pump is kind of cycling on and off, which I'm okay with because, it basically means it's intermittently keeping the water warm, moving, sorry. But, as you can see here, there's really hardly any water leaking off the side here. And I was imagining much more of a flow coming down there. So I think probably what I'll end up doing is, swapping the pump out for something a little bit better. But anyway, as you probably saw, this is the intended mason bee / native bee pollinator area here. I hand rolled all these tubes, which don't necessarily recommend, but they are 6-inch tubes that have parchment paper lining, so I can pretty easily harvest the cocoons in the fall. And this is just stuff I'm filling temporarily while I get stuff for ladybugs and maybe, some other butterflies, whatnot. We'll see what we can put in here. And then this is just meant to be the mason bee, leafcutter bee eventually nesting box area. These bees I got from, I can't remember the name of it. It's like mountain bees, something like that. I don't know. I'll put a link in. But I'm a little bit disappointed with these guys as well. I bought 300. In that 300, they came in reeds. I ended up having to, oh, wait a second. We got a male hatching in there as we speak. Let's see if we can go in on him there. Yeah, there he is. He's kind of chewing his way out. That's pretty cool, huh? Yeah, so these guys, this is gonna be the 6th bee to hatch. And, all the ones that have hatched so far have been males. I'm hoping eventually we get some females. Obviously, that's that's kind of what you want in all this. You know, normally when these bees come, they come in a 4 to 3 female to male ratio. This company, not only did they send me basically 265 usable cocoons, the rest were either infected or there just weren't enough because they didn't fill the reeds out entirely. But I paid for 300, I got 265 usable ones. Of that so far, I've had about 10 hatch, and it's been almost 2 weeks, which is a little disappointing. And all the hatchings have been males. The rest of them are off on another site. Obviously, this isn't 300. I think I'm gonna let this guy do his thing, but yeah, that's how they come out there. They just chew their way out of those little cocoons, and then the males will wait around for the females for a little while. The other females have flown the coop, or the other males, sorry, have flown the coop already. I think they got tired of waiting around for the females to hatch, so hopefully there are still some males left when the females hatch, if the females hatch. But otherwise, yeah, so this is kind of the garden. It's just my little ragtag dirt patch at my apartment building. This is my lemon tree that's started as a stick probably 5 years ago. Didn't do much for the first 3 years, but it's doing okay now. A few plants over here. There's an agave, there's this native California bush. I don't know what it is. I put it in, but I forgot to keep the tag. But yeah, it's native. I'm trying to move more towards native plants. This guy here is an argyranthemum, and I really like the flowers here. I think they're very beautiful, and it's very, very prolific. Like I put it, this area looks sunny right now, but it's really only gets sun for less than half the day, and you can see all the little flower buds that are coming up here. But yeah, it does pretty well. And then this guy also flowers. I tried to get things that flower at different times. So this guy flowers more like right around now, and it's like, spring, middle of spring. This guy comes in a little bit later, around summertime. And then that one there comes in around fall, so hopefully we're keeping a steady pollen. And then back here, we have a coffee berry tree, not to be confused with a coffee tree. And this is another California native. I haven't had berries yet, but I got it probably 2 years ago from a woman who was getting rid of it. It was in really poor condition and really struggling, but I've been trying to resuscitate it here, and this is the most growth I've seen in a while, so I'm pretty happy with this. In the back there, we have a whole bunch of nasturtiums that overrun this area every year. And then you can see, maybe you can see, there's some raspberry bushes, and they're kind of all over the garden here. And the reason is because my neighbor, his yard is just absolutely overrun with them. And I think I'm probably gonna get rid of them. As you can see, they're growing all over here. And I'm probably gonna get rid of them because I don't think they're native raspberry bushes. There is one variety locally that is native to California, but the others are not, is what I'm told. So I'm gonna do some cleaning up. But anyway, yeah, so the main focus of this video was supposed to be this guy here. So again, really easy to do, just basically a silicone saucer down the bottom to keep the water in, 3 16-inch pieces of PVC pipe, 22-inch, I think, saucer, clay pot, 18-inch saucer, $30 pump, some clay. And I have a clay sitting in another saucer here. It's probably a 5-inch saucer there, just to kind of keep the clay in one spot. But I might change that. I used to have it sitting in this bowl here, and I was able to submerge half the clay in water, and that really kept it wet for a long time, so the bees could kind of take the clay from wherever they wanted, whatever softness they wanted. But remains to be seen if any will hatch anyway. So hope you enjoyed. Let me know if you have any questions, and yeah, talk to you later.